Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. And of course, so sorry that we are 3 minutes late, Harry. 3 minutes. You watch Kevin Brennan's podcast, the guy early is 20 minutes late. 3 minutes? What's the problem? And Bobby having technical problems and everything. Evil said, just go. Let's give the people what they want. So, Harry, I hope you're appeased. Good morning, Stormy. And good morning, Bobby.
Good morning, Pat. How are you?
I am well. I am awake. Was it bushy tailed and bright eyed or whatever I am? Doing
Yeah,
all that
yeah.
stuff.
I like that you didn't do it in the traditional order. You did bright-eyed and bushy-tailed is normal, but
I'm
you were
bushy tailed first.
bushy-tailed and bright-eyed. Yeah.
Bushy tailed was first.
We used to
Is
play
that?
lacrosse against a kid named Bushy.
Oh,
He
nice.
was he went to one of the local really good at lacrosse schools, and he and I met and became really good friends at lacrosse camp. And when we played them my sophomore year, I remember he was their goalie, and I just before the game being like, "Let me get one." And he was like, "All right, man, third quarter." And sure enough, in the third quarter, I scored the one goal that our team had because Bushy let me get one through his legs.
Jesus Christ. I'm sure Bushy was already okay with his stats and didn't mind throwing
No,
one
that's
through the
exactly
old
what it was.
tail.
He was like, dude, wait till the third quarter and it's all you, buddy. I'll give you one.
Yeah, you got one in the bushy tail right there. That's nice.
Yeah,
But
man.
I wonder if I wonder what that meant. Like, I don't want to look it up, but like bright eyed, obviously wide awake. Bushy tail. I guess that means like a dog is ready for the day, or it's like an Italian guy's ass.
Bushy
The guy's
tail,
bright,
right?
just hairy ass. It's like bushy. Like, why you don't want your tail to be bushy, do you?
Now, what if you're using tail in the slang term?
I think this is old enough where tail wasn't a slang. I don't think it meant ass like in the 30s.
But it could have just been bushy, like your chick's got a bush.
Why is she bright eyed? She's full of
No,
hope
no,
and full
no.
of bush.
You're bright eyed. You're full of hope, and she's full of
Oh,
bush. And like you've got the
oh, it's
bright
like a
eyes so you can
team.
see through the forest. Yeah, it was the Middle Ages.
It was girlfriend bushy tail.
Like,
Like,
he doesn't
oh,
know yet.
okay.
He's not going to be bright
No,
eyed when he finds out.
they're bright eyes and Madam Bushy Tail. Hello. How are you? But I've also got I've got my DMV learner's permit test after this. I was supposed
Oh,
to take it
nice.
yesterday, but I had to move that stuff around. But no, well, you don't want to kill yourself ever. So you should watch Brendan's podcast and be happy you're not as angry as he is in life or has herpes now. I don't know. I was watching. I'm not shitting on him. There's something wrong with his face. It's like red and burnt. And there's like marks, and he's got like shit on his lips.
Maybe he also has Bell's palsy.
We've gone into this a bunch of times. When I finally do get my license, then we'll do a whole recap thing. But let's wait because if I don't pass this test, it'll be my fun story on Monday, regardless.
I
Because
can't wait.
I've been studying a little bit, but like, all right, Bobby, I even before on the show, I have a couple of the questions that might be on there, and I'll bring them up, and we'll see if you get them right or people in there will get them right. But I think we should start off with, if you don't mind, quickly, sir. Um, because I've been getting messages from a bunch of different people because I've been getting mentioned on some podcasts because on Saturday I appeared on Who Are These Podcasts, the one with Carl where he breaks down shows. Now he breaks down comedians, podcasts, things of that nature. I had even mentioned to you that we were on there and we had joked about a one comedian named Tom Myers, and then you said to me, "Uh-oh, here comes the bong hit transplant," and I
Bong
didn't
hit
know what that
transplant.
meant. I
Yeah,
didn't know what that meant.
you went on some horrible tirade about my hero, Tom Myers, just to be clear. Big fan.
Okay, so I didn't know what that meant. Whatever. So a day later, I get message from friend of the show and great comic Andrew Glester, and he messages me and goes, "Oh man, it looks like you made it," and sends me a screenshot. Now the original thumbnail that Carl used to promote that clip, the 30-minute clip on there, had Tom on it, and it said, Tom attacks incels, some dumb thing underneath, and then Tom in his brilliant way switched it and said, Tom attacks incels, and he has to teach them a thing or two, whatever. And then he put a post up, and he's like, he wrote this whole thing. It's like, in the words of Marlo Stanfield from The Wire, and then some quote, whatever, and then said, he goes, no offense, Pat Oates, and tags me in the thing. And and Andrew's like, you're in trouble. Get ready for a bong hit transplant. And then I messaged him and said,
Yes.
all right, what the fuck is a bong hit transplant? And he goes, wait, are you asking me because you generally don't know? Or because like, or did I write something wrong? And I'm like, no, Bobby mentioned this to me the other day. And now you're mentioning it to me, so I don't know what it is. He goes, oh, hold on. And he sends me this clip from years ago on some talk show, like shitty third, rate talk show thing that Tom was performing on. Like, imagine if Jay Leno was always in his basement. And so it kind of felt like that kind of show. And he's up there doing the stand up, and the crowd doesn't give a fuck. One guy in the crowd, they weren't even booing. One guy just yelled, ah, like in the middle of a joke. Like, that's an insane place to tell it. But it's this joke about a guy going to the convenience store and he's got all this shit and Doritos and he's got fucking Oreos and he's got, for some reason, has a rotted banana and he has generic fruit punch and he puts it all down and he says to the guy at the register, he says, my wife's in the hospital. This is all she can eat. And then Tom, standing there behind him, goes, what'd you have, a bong hit transplant? In the crowd of like maybe 30 people, 3 people went, and then, like, the guy behind him is dying laughing. And then Tom keeps telling other jokes. At one point, Tom tells some joke that doesn't hit at all, turns around, looks back at the guy, he goes, I guess I don't like puns. Now, there was no pun in the joke he told. None. And even right when I thought that, I'm like, wait, did I miss that? I look at the comments, and the guy writes, the best part of this is when Tom turns and whispers, they hate puns, and Tom did not tell one single goddamn pun. So then I got a new appreciation for Tom. I saw that, I said, great. So when Tom wrote all that, I wrote underneath his post on Instagram, none taken, sir. I said, do what you must. But in the words of Harriet Tubman, let's fucking go. I wrote that. He sent a silly face. It was fine. You know what I mean? Do your thing. I was on a show joking about Tom. If Tom wants to go on a show and joke about me, of course you can do that. That's how, as much as people joke about Tom, that's how normal comedians would handle this. You're joking around. We know what it is. You're just joking around for people to pay attention to. I was asked to go on and do a thing. That's how normal comedians would handle this. Now, another clip we did on the show that was put up was when Rich Voss got in a little bit of a battle with Stuttering John. Now, first of all, I haven't really heard much to be true about Stuttering John getting upset about our thing with the Hall of Fame. Now, if he said anything, no one's messaged me. The thing is with Stuttering John, good morning, Kitch. The thing is, most people, when anyone talks about me, because they love certain shit, they'll message me and go, John's saying this way, whatever. I haven't heard anything about that. But I did get a phone call yesterday from a podcaster himself, Ski Mask.
Oh,
now,
boy.
to be clear, and I'll put this right here. I thought I was in trouble for something else because I'm on page. We're on Patreon. We have our own thing there. I don't really watch a lot of shows on Patreon. I don't really support anybody on it because I used to use it for us to put things on. I don't really go on it much. But I had noticed that for a while now, I guess I had been supporting, for at least a year, I guess, Ski Mask Podcast. But I've never watched any content. And I was like, there's no point in doing that anymore. So I think he won't notice, even though he has as many followers as we do, which isn't many. And I unsubscribed from his podcast, Patreon. Literally 4 minutes later, my phone rings from Ski Mask, and I'm like, oh no, he's gonna yell at me because I quit my Patreon. He must have noticed. But no, that's not what he was calling about. So I'm sorry, Ski Mask, if you're learning this way. I apologize. You're still a great man. I just don't want to be on there anymore. Hey V, good morning. You're not late. You're fine. A wizard is never late. He's always whatever the fuck. Anyway, so I get to him getting on the phone. I go, how's it going, buddy? He's like, good. He goes, dude, Chad Zumock is on his podcast trashing you right now. He's destroying you. He's going on. I go, oh, really? What's he saying? He goes, he said you're not funny comic and you're just performing Connecticut and you're a loser. And I go, oh, okay. And he goes, no, he's like trash. I'm like, no, he's just saying stuff. I don't care about that. Okay. And he's like, oh, that's why I wanted you to know, man. I'm like, no. I appreciate it. Hope all's good with you, man. I saw a video of you falling asleep and almost dying from alcohol the other day. And he goes, yeah, I'm moving back to Texas. I'm like, okay. Yeah, maybe you should get away from the East Coast, whatever. Talk to you later. But then I was watching a clip. I was watching us on a live thing from WATP. They were doing their Who Are These Socials, and Carl was on there. And I went in the comments, just said hi to one or two people, and then someone saw my name and said, "Oh, Pat, Chad's destroying you right now." And I was like, I didn't even write back. I'm like, yeah, it's funny how people are telling me. I haven't really heard anything what he said, but I guess he was mad at me talking about him on Who Are These Podcasts. Now I remember, I don't drink. I remember the whole segment. I remember what I said.
That is a great equalizer, the ability to be like, one of us wasn't fucked up while listening to this.
Yeah. So I remember exactly what I said. And yes, I made fun of John a lot. I didn't make fun of Rich Voss because they were kind of going back and forth, those two. But I even said on there, I said, first of all, and I've said about a couple people on there that when they would mention somebody, I'd always say, hey, I know that person, and personally, they've never done anything wrong to me. I said that about Chad on there. I said, he's been on my podcast once or twice. And I think I was on his once with Earl Skakel a while back in the day. And I'm like, he's never done anything to me. I've heard things, but I've never heard anything about it. And I even said the way they handled it back and forth, when Voss called the two of them middles, I said, Chad's probably sitting back because he's probably going to hit up Voss and go, well, if I'm a middle, let me open for you. That's what a comic would do.
I would do that.
I've seen Chad do that. So It wasn't a shot. So supposedly now, from those eviscerating words, I was getting shit on. Which means to me what normally happened. Chad didn't watch the show. Someone said, Pat, Carl and Pat Oates are talking shit about you. I guess he had on me for a minute and he went on Carl forever. Okay, fine. Now I'm thinking, finally, after this Saturday episode, we got to be done with this, right? Well, Carl text me at 11 o'clock last night. Carl says, dude, did you hear that Rich Voss was on Jim and Sam on Sirius XM Radio, Jim Norton and Sam Roberts, and when Voss was on, they brought up the Dabbleverse. And then Voss talked about how he watched an episode with a guy named Carl and his funny comic, and they did a great job, which was, didn't say my name, but the two of us breaking down this thing, and they were very complimentary, so of course he likes them. And then Sam Roberts taught Rich Voss and Jim Norton about the Dabbleverse and broke down the whole world of John and all these things. So it made it to Sirius XM Radio in that clip. So it's just this wild thing. And it was so funny because it was like Voss, and being his normal Voss way, Blink goes, well, he's like, John's got to have like people on his side too, right? Like at least one or two fans, right? It just, everything has to be that little shot. Like you can't have more than one or two fans or whatever. And he brought up the whole thing where John was mad at him about bailing on a 9/11 show. He's like, I'd met John one time before. It wasn't. He goes, this was also in 2001. So it means I met him before that. So I met him in 2000. In 2001, he reaches out, asked me to be on a show, and he's mad about it in 2024. But the mention was there. So who's the piece of shit in this? Is it Carl for having a show that brings all these middles, myself included, together to comment on things and do stuff? Is it Stuttering John for being so polarizing, such an infamous little fat troll man that everybody wants to hear the dumb things he says and attack him right away? Is it Chad for obviously just trying to jump onto it, not that there was much going on with it, and trying to get something out of it? Is it Ski Mask for calling me and going, here's the scoop, people are saying shit? Do you want that in life? Do you want people telling you when your shit talked about you? Or do you want, like I usually handle things, not anything said to you? I appreciated it, but at the same time, I don't care. It's just people talking. People are talking in every room, everywhere, all the time. I don't care if it's my name said it or not. Is it me for not caring or capitalizing on it more? Is it Jim and Sam? No offense. I know I've heard that Sirius isn't doing that great. But when you have to introduce the Dabbleverse to your place, that means that Carl and John and all of them are getting more loyal listeners than you are because you're hoping they'll listen. There's a reason why you bring in the Dabbleverse, because they are this pack of loyal people, even though there aren't many there. Or is it Rich Voss for not knowing my name when he watched the clip? I'm kidding. Who's a piece of shit?
So it's not Voss. He doesn't work Connecticut that often, and I have it on good authority. You only work Connecticut clubs.
By the way, he works Connecticut
that's what
so much
said.
that no, but at least twice a year he's at Mohegan Sun where I'm at. And like, not that we've worked together, but I've been there on the Thursday 10 and said hi to him and had to say, he goes, I know you from somewhere, and it's usually like compound, you know what I mean? But like,
Yeah.
He wouldn't know me by name or face, but if he saw me, he might go, I think I know that person.
Yeah, no, I was just more making a joke there. It's not
right. Yeah.
It's not Stuttering John. As much as I'd like it to be Stuttering John in this one, it's not. He's just playing the game. Like, and by the game, I mean not forgetting 9/11. Like,
Oh,
it
okay, that's
seems
the
like
game.
all these people, not the game I play, but like the game
What's your
America
9/11
plays.
game?
Well, that's where you start jerking off while people are sleeping.
Oh no.
Because it was originally inspired by, well, I'm guessing a plane's hitting this tower too. Don't want to die with a full nutsack. But everybody seems to have forgotten. Right now, we're all like, pro Hamas. And it's like, those are the same dudes who blew up our towers. Them and Bush. Like, John didn't move on from 9/11. Society has. Right? Voss stood him up for a 9/11 gig. He didn't forget. That's what we were told to do. Sorry, he's a little simpler and didn't put two and two together that they meant the towers, not that Voss wouldn't do his charity gig. It's not ski mask. As much as I think, like, all right, if you're gonna tell me about a beef, I want you to be the Apostle Peter, where it's like there was this beef, but I cut the dude's ear off. You know what I mean? Like, come in being like, I handled this problem for you. That's when I need the beef brought to my attention. If you feel it's
See,
bad
I don't
enough,
want
somebody.
that.
No, I know you don't, but I'm saying for me, like, if it's bad enough that the beef, you need to feel the need to bring it to my attention, then handle it. You know, impress me.
Right, but in that regard, real quick, in that regard, that was my fear because he is that kind of guy,
Yeah,
and he
ski
would
mask
go in
is,
there
yeah.
and start yelling at Chad and speaking on my behalf when I hadn't spoken to the guy in 6 months, so it wouldn't have like had anything I actually thought, and then a real fight would happen. He would say these things, Chad would say I said those things, and now I'm in this world I don't give a fuck about when I just like going on Carl's show sometimes.
Which is where I was getting to, which is why he's not a piece of shit. Because in this instance, he did the best he could, which was let you know, even though you'd prefer not to hear about it, but he didn't engage or stir up the beef.
He was being a friend, and I got it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
Yeah. For me, it's not Jim and Sam. The only reason Carl's podcast exists is because of Sam Roberts. Like, Sam was the man behind Jocktober, which is what he's even called Anthony and made sure like it was cool to do. But like, not to say there is no Sam, there is no Carl, but I'm
Yeah, I
sure
was gonna
he's
say
been paying attention to it. But as much as you and
right.
I are like, we don't want to be involved in beef anymore, Norton's dealt with the Owen Hay pests for what, 30 years at this point? I think he's just staying out of the drama. I'm gonna bang my tranny wife and not worry about what people are saying on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, I just think he's above it all. So for me, the piece of shit in this story, ooh, probably the Dabbleverse in general. Like,
Why?
the old Howard Stern people should have just let it go. Like, you don't see Sam Roberts starting a universe with Travis Teft or Danny Braff, you know, all that stuff. That's a good point, Kish. I don't see a piece of shit in this story. I think everybody kind of did what they're supposed to. Chad's Chad. He's one of the best people at stirring up that internet drama that people want to talk about. He's, as much as people love professional wrestling, they can't see a heel in real life. Like, the guy is good at making you tune in because you want to root against him. And that is a form of comedy. We've said it for years. Like, if John could capitalize on the hatred about him, he would be the funniest guy ever. If he intentionally was like, I'm going to be this asshole that everybody else can make fun of. And whether it's the alcohol or just his personality, I think Chad has become that in a way where, yeah, you might not like him, but you want to tune in to see what he says. And he has some very good one-liners too. He's come up with some great
Chad?
nicknames. Yeah. He's had some
When's
great
the last?
nicknames.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I'm being serious. When's the last time you've seen a clip or heard anything from Chad? You personally?
I Twitter. I see a lot of him on Twitter.
Okay, but like when it comes to like the podcast thing and stuff like that, when's the last? It's been a while, right?
I don't watch that stuff. It doesn't
Right.
bring
No,
me joy.
Yeah. Exactly. That's my point. He hasn't had good one-liners since Kumi was having him on.
Okay.
When Brennan put him through the ringer and kind of like discarded him, like a kid wanting love from his dad, and he would just visit one time and think they were going to live together, and then take off for 6 months and bring him back. Brennan fucked with that guy's head, and Melton from Nobody Loves Onions. All these guys were really crushing on him, especially when John took a hiatus. Zumock became the thing, and then Ray became that thing. The two of them fighting back and forth. If you remember, Zumock about a year ago blamed Kumia's fans for punching him in the face when he was really stealing catalytic converters or something and broke his eye. There was a whole fucking thing where
This is Kumia country.
and he went after all that kind of stuff. the humor's been kind of gone. That's why, in my thing, the piece of shit is Chad. And the reason why is this. Here's the reason why no one else is. John's not, because literally John is the epicenter, like you said, of the Dabbleverse, and everyone's shitting on him. So how does he? If he doesn't want, if you're an attention whore, which he is, and there's nothing. So am I. So are you. If you're a comedian, if you're an entertainer in any way, you can say nice words if you want. We're attention whores. We're here. We want people to watch. We're psyched that people are watching this morning. We're psyched that people see our stuff and shows. We want attention. That's who we are. That's why we went into the field we went into. No matter what level we are, middler or whatever. It's like, it doesn't matter where you are. That's what we want, is attention. So John is doing that, and he's getting tons of it. He's the hot girl in the Dabbleverse, and all the boys want to talk about him, but they're talking about him like kindergarten, where they're teasing him. But man, if he said he'd go on their show, they would love to have him on their show because they would get more views. The people that are watching it it's a polarized. It's weird. It's like if Hitler didn't really have an army and he just had some shitheads that followed him. The guy's saying horrible things, but you want to hear what he has to say for some reason, even though it's not anything good. So it's not him. And he usually, yes, sometimes he attacks, but 99% of the time he's responding to being shit on. So that's what this is supposed to be. And he's doing that. It's not Carl. Like you said, he listens to Sam. He loves radio in general. He says Opie and Anthony Stern, all these things he listened to all the time. He was trying to do that in a modern time, and he turned this thing into an old school radio thing on a new school platform. So what he's doing there, he's leaned into it. He also gets shit on a bunch. It's been done back to him, and he leans into it. He doesn't get mad when they do it to him. He's like, okay, I get it. You want to call me a lady or whatever? That's fine. He's been very professional with that kind of stuff all the time. It's not Jim and Sam. They are just having Voss on. Sam noticed something on Twitter that involved Voss. It wasn't like he brought it up. I was kidding with the Dabbleverse bringing it up. He only brought it up because Voss was there. It was like, oh, this is crazy. And Voss started to actually bring it up a little bit too. So that's why they kind of, Sam's like, oh shit, I saw this, whatever, and got all into it, Yeah. So it's not any of them. Chad will just go off on things when he doesn't know what he's talking about, A. And B, even if he did know what he's talking about, he literally is the person that John isn't. Where Chad's whole thing now on podcasting is just trolling other people. He was calling it sniping before other people were, and now they're all doing it. But when they watch someone else's show and shit out, which he's probably going to do with this at some point because he wants to shit on us now, whatever. And that's his whole thing. I'm just
who wants to shit on us?
Chad.
Why? That's going to be a big shit.
I've been talking about it. But
he's a very large individual. That's not going to be a healthy shit.
Yeah. Well, he's not large. He's like 5'4", but like
he's round,
thick. But anyway, so he, even if he's doing this or not doing this, it doesn't matter about that. The fact of the matter is, he always just talks about other people all the time. That's all his content is. There's nothing more than, hey, Patrick Melton stinks. Let's watch and shit on him. Oh, Ray DeVito stinks. Let's shit on him. But when a podcast that did that before he did it, who are these podcasts, mentions him once, he goes nuclear, and he can't, the thinnest of skins, and goes nuts and has to yell about everybody on that show. I think it's just because he sees that here's what happened. In that clip, that he put up a 30-minute clip where it's Voss talking, and me and Carl, whatever there, and John and Chad are mentioned a little bit. Chad's not mentioned much because he's barely in it. And we all just kind of said Chad did the right thing, kind of stayed out of it, whatever. Chad just saw that, what's his name? Carl got 12,000 views on that clip. So I better yell about everybody on that clip because hopefully those people will come over. But he's just doing the same thing that everyone else is doing. So to get upset at it and go nuclear and go, this guy sucked, it's so unoriginal. I didn't know one was saying he sucked. We broke down the shit on the clip. You could say I suck, it's fine, but it shows no talent. It shows no ability. And like you said, years ago, when he would be the guy on Kumia or other shows, when he was on Brennan at the beginning, quick, fast, funny, self-deprecating, could take shots at him. I want to see old Chad back. So if he gets mad at me and that stirs it up, great. But yeah, right in this story, piece of shit. I root for all these dabble guys. They're trying to make money. They're all making a couple bucks and they're sitting at home doing it. They found a new way to do comedy. It's maybe not working, but maybe other comics would say it's not comedy. All those comics would kill young middlers to get the views they're getting and the interaction with fans that they're getting. They put on Hackamania and these other shows. Human beings show up. So they're doing something right.
Yeah, I don't disagree. In Survivor, how you get an immunity pass?
Yes.
So the Clintons, the Clintons of comedy is Chad Zumock's perennial immunity pass in my mind. So I'm not gonna call him a piece of shit here just because I like that nickname so much. But I get where you're
Why
coming
does
from.
he get immunity?
Just the nickname, the Clintons of comedy, is so perfect, so
Why
accurate,
didn't? Is that a
and
nickname of
hilarious.
his?
Oh no, he gives that to the Mayer family, Chrissy and Frank. He calls them the Clintons of
Oh,
comedy,
I don't know anything about that
which
world at
is
all.
one of my favorite lines of all time.
Okay,
Because boy,
well, I'm not trying to be a dick, but then if he said that line, someone else said it, and he just used it. That's what that
this
whole
was his
universe
heyday.
does.
This was his
Okay.
heyday of that, though. I think it may have actually been him, which is, because Chrissy got all those people killed in Fallujah.
Yes, of course. Yes, even though if you go criminal records, the two of them, Chrissy does not win. Chad's got the criminal record. That's a real thing. I'm not shitting on
that's
him.
where
That's a real fucking thing.
that's where I think you got confused. You said he was stealing credit. He actually steals credit cards.
No, he both. Both. All right. So, as we go, Adam, what's up, dude? I haven't seen this dude in a while. What's he got going on here? 100%. It's all about the attention for all of us, whether you like Chad comedy or not. Even if you consider comedy, it's bringing views. The only thing I don't like is you can't make fun of others and then be a bitch when people make fun of you. But he is his thing is being the complainer. So I guess that is kind of what he does, whines and complains, and people pay attention. I guess I'm now when I read that and I think about it, I said John's okay for just being John and everyone jumps at it, but Chad's just being Chad and he gets attention when he's melting down. So I guess they're all doing the tantrum that gets mommy to bring them the milk. You know what I mean? And so
it does. That is a good point by Adam, though. It does kind of suck when like somebody's taken. It has been the guy who just takes shots for 20 months straight, and then you make fun of them back, and they completely overreact.
yeah, like in that world, but I'm not in it. I'm not in the Dabbleverse. I'm a guest on WATP sometimes, and I make jokes about John stuff. So I get entered for a second, but no one really entered. They shit on me for a day, but I don't feed that ego, nor do I have that appeal to the people that are in that world. That's fine. I'm on there when I'm on there, but in the comments and stuff, I will see a lot of times when I'm on WATP, the same couple comments all the time, that we like Pat because of his origin story, which is WATP shit on his show. He shared it, supported it, thought it was funny, and then became a guy on the show. As you know, you and I have always done this with each other. We both have thick skins. We both understand that this is all just joking around doing so. And even if it isn't, I've always had a mentality, it's just words, man. Like if someone does say something, it's for entertainment. If someone says, if Chad went off and said funny things about me, I would laugh at it. I didn't even watch it or hear it. I am actually doing what I said Chad does, which is fucked up. I'm saying I heard from someone else, but then I had several people say it. So it wasn't just one person saying it. And then when I went and saw it, it wasn't the same thing and I still leaned into it. Several people said it. But I'm saying, yeah, we could go that route. We could do every show where we just focus on that universe or a different universe and just shit on it and try to get more people to follow. That'd be exhausting. And I don't know. I kind of like that we just try to have fun with trending stories. It keeps my comedy brain going and your comedy. It helps with jokes being quicker. That's not going to help me. As much as I may not be a famous comic or touring or whatever it is, I do comedy for a living and that's how my bills get paid. So I like keeping the comedy muscle going. I'm the first person to always say, I don't care what level of comedy you say you're at. I know Terry. I know Terry. He was traumatized as a kid, and we all know that for the wrong reasons. We shouldn't have known that. That shouldn't be even out there in his world, and I get that. But we've all had tough childhoods. It doesn't mean you have to be a shitty adult. You know what I mean? There's plenty of kids who had tough childhoods who don't fucking act like pieces of shit. They just kind of learn from it, go to therapy, and figure shit out. So yeah,
you know who else had a tough childhood? Mike Tyson.
What? I thought he was raised lovely by just random white men who used him to be a pony to punch things.
No, those were pigeons. The pigeons raised them.
Oh, that's nice of the pigeons. Long day this will be. What? Oh no, what's wrong, Kish? I mean, V's gonna have a big old day. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm doing the same. I guess we're all doing the same thing. We're all just on here complaining, whatever. But
And
I don't
like,
know. I
yeah,
thought it was funny to get the world tour of things where it wrapped up with Carl going like, "Did you see this shit?" So I
that
guess
is kind of funny.
and there's clips all over the place. If you want to hear the Voss, go check out the Voss thing on Jim and Sam. That's fun. Or go check out Carl's clip. Go check out Chad's things if he has a clip up. Support all the stuff. They're all out there doing stuff. You guys all like the stuff. Do the stuff.
And if you'd like to save the time, just go see the guy who did it first, Red Bar.
Yeah, I guess I saw a clip where your buddy Kumio was like, yelling about him or something. But anyway, that's a whole different world. You don't want to get into that world. But
It was funny. Like 5 years ago, everybody was like, "This guy's the worst. All he does is make fun of other podcasts and talk shit." And now everybody's trying to be him. It's like, oh, all right, well,
right.
pick a side.
Well, even funnier, they would all yell, "This guy's the worst," but then they would see a spike in their views, and they thought it's because their show is getting good. It's because Red Bar made fun of them, and then everyone went to go see what he was making fun of. That's what Carl does. Carl is that new hub of I mention a thing, so you go watch the thing. Now they may troll it and shit on it, but he's getting you new eyes on. They're all little Don Kings running around. They may not promote well, but they are promoting, and they're getting eyes on the product. That's all it is.
Be the Martin Luther King amongst the bunch of Don Kings, Pat. Go give a speech.
You and I can never be a Martin
shot.
Luther King. Who's
Why?
the white Martin Luther King?
Who's the white? What's that guy's name? Sean. Well, help me here.
Mendez?
He's the white dude. No, the white dude who says he's black. Sean King. Might be Sean. Yeah, Sean King.
It's all kings?
Well, I mean, he's
Don King,
he's
Martin Luther
have you
King,
have you
Sean
not seen
King, Rodney
Sean?
King, Burger King,
Yeah, they used to be kings. Have you ever heard them say that?
Sofa King.
Yeah, Sean King's the white or the male Rachel Dolezal.
Oh no, V's got anger issues from his childhood trauma. I'm sorry, man. Want hugs? He put a laughing face, so I think he's making fun of Chad. But either way, I'm sorry for your childhood trauma. I hope you don't have adult trauma. Do people have just adult trauma? Like my childhood was sweet. I have adult trauma.
I mean, Stuttering John has some adult trauma after dealing with the mass wreckage of 9/11 and fucking Voss blew him off.
All right. We're gonna now move on to your story in a second, but real quickly, I'm gonna ask you at least one DMV question, and then see if you get it. Ready?
Yeah.
Oh no, I lost my page. All right. Where are we? Boom. All right. Thing. Nope. Wrong lady. Oh, I don't want that one. I want this one. Sorry, everyone, for my inappropriate moves here. So we're playing this, doing this. Can you hear it?
Question 1.
Yeah.
How much faster than the posted speed limit is it legal to travel? A, 1 mile per hour. B, 5 miles per hour. C, the posted speed limit is just a suggestion. You can travel whatever speed you're comfortable driving. D, you should never travel more than the posted speed limit. The correct answer is
D.
D, you should never travel more than the posted speed.
Did you know that, or were you just guessing once you heard the options?
I mean, the sign's called a speed limit, so you shouldn't go faster than it. It's pretty straightforward there.
But think about how many people we all think that you can.
Oh, I do. It's just there's a difference between
Everyone
the law
does.
and the norms. Also,
that one should be changed. I'm being fair. I've heard people talk about that should be changed. I know it's a speed limit. It should be the speed suggestion. I think it should be called the speed suggestion.
Nobody can explain to me how having to get your car inspected, registered, and speed limits are legal. I didn't vote on that. I thought I had the right to pursue life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I'm happy when I'm driving 100. Get the fuck out of my way.
Oh man, you're mad.
No, I don't like car regulations. You know the Autobahn?
You don't like regulations on an automobile?
No. Why should a cop be able to pull me over because my muffler's a little loud or because my windows are a little too tinted? And they're like, "But you might shoot us." It's like if you
break the
just
ozone
didn't
or something.
If you didn't pull me over, you wouldn't get shot. It wouldn't be a problem. I'm sorry you have to. I'm sorry you have to raise funds for your city, so you have a certain amount of tickets you got to give out every month. Go ahead. I'm ready for another one.
Blind spots refer to when operating a vehicle? A, areas that you can't see from your vehicle. B, Places non-seeing people cross the road. C. Areas that other drivers can't see from their vehicles. D. Both A and C are correct. The correct answer is
It's D again,
both A and
Yes.
C are correct.
but I call blind spots whatever women see when they're driving.
Dude, why? Why
they
would
suck
you
at
have to do a
driving.
shot at women for driving for no reason in that?
For no reason.
No, I would say
Look,
blind
I'm-
spots are the spots that Asian people can't see. Oh,
That's
it's
a
all
lot.
over. The brine. That's the brine spot.
You do become a little more understanding of stereotypes when you're driving, and you're like, oh, who's this person casually going 10 under in the left lane, not caring about society? Oh,
I'm
could have
not
called that one.
judging. Nope, I'm not judging anybody. Wonder why? Because both those things you mentioned, women and I mentioned Asians, they're driving and I'm not. So you know what? They're way better than me. I can't. I have no rocks to throw in this house of glass. You know, no
Yeah.
thanks. Because I'm here studying the moron test, and I'm worried I'm gonna fail because I fail all tests in life. I always freeze under pressure of tests. That's what I do. I wouldn't be a comic if I did well on tests. I don't think I ever got an A on a test in my life. I mean, except for the AIDS test.
Hey.
A for
But the
AIDS.
beauty of this one is it's a win-win for you. If you pass, you could drive again in 9 months, and if you fail, it's just funny.
If I pass, it's not 9 months, but it is 90 days of driving around before I can go get the license. I have to do the permit thing for 90 days. Now, by the way, for anyone out there that needs a designated driver for 90 days,
Yeah.
is that what
that's
my
what you
job
hear.
at being this age? Is that what I get to do? Is to drive? Someone's drunk or just doesn't feel like it, then let me drive your car because I'm 50. It's not like my parents are going to take me driving.
Yeah. It's also, though, I think it's illegal. Like, the person who's being the adult in the car has to be sober. Like, you could still get a DUI letting your nephew drive you drunk. Maybe not in Connecticut, but
Well, no, I mean, like, yes, if you explain it that way, Bobby, yes, it's illegal. But if you're saying that you were being the driver and the student driver and learning from this person, and they happen to fall asleep, they was laying a long day, and as long as they're in the car and I can wake them up, then we're all okay.
that's a good
Why
point.
are we
That is a good
why are we
point.
taking driver's classes today? Because I have to go for my learner's permit. You jumped in a little late. I'm sorry. I'm going for that after this, so I'm refreshing myself. We'll do one more question. Hold on, and then she's explaining it quickly. We'll do one more, then we'll move on to Bobby. If you got stories, I got stories. We got mad stories. But yeah, but thank you, by the way, all the Dabble people. Thank you for the shout outs and the love and all that stuff. I'll take it. You know what I mean? Why
Mhm.
not? It's not helping us at all, but well, let me just
While
pull it.
you're pulling
I
that
think
up, V brought up some good points in the chat, which is new cars are monitoring your speed. You can keep pulling it up, buddy. New cars are no
Oh, yeah.
longer free. They're monitoring your speed and reporting on you to insurance. So buy old cars. That's definitely a good point. Like anytime they're like, hey, you can get lower insurance if you put this camera in your car, you're not getting lower insurance. They're just going to take it away. Buy
Yeah.
old Mustangs and go as fast as you want. Because I got a need for speed.
Yeah, we're gonna be permit bros, right? V, he's gonna permit too. So if anyone wants to just send to our Patreon a old car, I'll take that. Can you send
Doesn't
that
work.
to Patreon?
I've been asking for an
Potential
old Mustang for
collisions.
years.
Question 3. How close to an intersection is it safe to pass another vehicle? A, 20 feet. B, 75 feet. C, 100 feet. D, 50 feet. The correct answer.
What's your
I
answer?
think it's D.
So how close to an intersection is safe to pass others? You're saying D, which was 50 feet?
Yeah.
Answer is C, 100 feet.
See, it's the numbers that are gonna throw me off with this crap.
Well, I think it's the fact that
no
you
one
got a
thinks
woman.
about that.
You got a woman asking the questions, and they don't know how to drive.
All right, it's once again, it has nothing to do with the woman asking the questions. She's asking the questions on a test. What is wrong with you? This is why you're lonely. Be nice to women. Women are helpful.
No, that's the critique I get. You're too nice.
No, women are way more helpful than men. Men won't help you with this stuff. If a man was reading that, he'd go, how far is it? Oh, no, 5 of my dicks, 6 of my dicks, or 12 of my dicks. You'd be like, all right, you have any dick,
Yeah.
0 dick.
But you know who
wouldn't even
wouldn't
know
have
the
caused
answer.
the accident at the intersection? The dude measuring in dick length. So
Yes, he would. If a guy's measuring his dick out there to see how close he is to another car, cars are going to crash looking at that. That would cause accidents.
but not him. Not him though. He's gonna be fine.
He's the cause. His penis is the penises are the cause of everything wrong.
What are we doing here? When did this podcast change?
Oh, it didn't. I don't like dicks.
I mean, yeah, but you also never
Dick
used to think women could drive.
I always thought they could drive. My whole life they've been driving me around. I was raised by a single mom. Yeah, we didn't die ever.
Sounds like you also had some childhood trauma, driving around with a single mom all the time.
I like how I do like on our show that you've just assumed that your views on everything were also mine, because I don't think you remember in all these conversations. I always go, "What are we doing here?" As you're yelling about women, and then today you're like, "Wait, what happened?" I'm like, "You finally paid attention to me." That's what happened.
That's fair. That's fair.
Now, do you want to do a story?
Like a women driver. I pay attention driving 1 in 100 times. I got a story.
Jesus.
MVP of the league, 76ers star, just dropped 50 points, but announces he has what? Bell's palsy.
MVP of the league.
Yeah, Joel Embiid, last year's MVP, came out today and announced he's been playing since the Miami series with Bell's palsy.
Jokic won it last year.
That was the Finals MVP, I believe.
No, I thought he won the MVP regular one. I could be wrong.
You're wrong. I don't mean to be that guy, but yeah, I know Embiid.
No, be that guy.
Yeah.
Please be the guy
Embiid
who
won,
corrects
and
things.
then they lost that series where they announced that he was the winner of the MVP. But or maybe it was 2 years ago. Either way, the point being, Joel Embiid has Bell's palsy. Now, the reason we figured this out is after the previous game, he refused to take his sunglasses off in the locker room. And people were like, "What's that about?" He's like, "I got poked in the eye." And then he wouldn't make eye contact with anybody at the next day. And so a lot of the local media was saying that there was something broken in his face, like something was wrong with his face. And so he had to come out and be like, "No, I've got a sore knee and I've been playing with Bell's palsy." So who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Joel Embiid for being hurt so much that the minute he starts acting weird, people assume the Sixers are covering up an injury? Is it the local media? If you're a Sixers reporter and you're a fan of the Sixers and you think Embiid's hiding an injury, shut the fuck up until after the series. Let him hide that injury. You know what I mean? Like, if you're covering the Sixers and your goal is for the Sixers to win, don't try to reveal that shit. Or is it Joel Embiid? Because now everybody and their brothers are going to be like, "It's COVID. It's the vaccines." Instead of just letting him be the all-star we all know he is. Pat, we'll kick it to you first. Who's the piece of shit?
Well, I mean, I've been watching the NBA this year, and I watched the Knicks series and all that stuff, and they've been mentioning his injury the entire time. So, they have been talking about it, and they're kind of pushing the whole thing, like, he's at 70%, but, because he recovered from the surgery, but it's still not, he shouldn't be going. The surgery was in February. The man should not be running around in April on his leg playing in the NBA. So I give him all the credit in the world for doing that. He's not 100% himself, but going against the Knicks, who don't have a real big man to go against him, it'd be crazy not to play even him at 80%. Now, they've got some good big men, but not someone that can come out with him. You know what I mean? So
not
the same
MVP,
way. So
yeah.
if he can shoot shots from the outside and let Maxey drive in, then you play that game, because that's all they really need. They got other players around it, but you need Maxey to play. So that being said, it's not the media or anybody for saying it. You got to report on something. If not, it's just a regular matchup. I hate to relate it to when I watch professional wrestling and stuff, but it's like when they have the professional wrestler come out with tape on his ribs or tape on his arm. Like, why would you in real life come out and go, "Hey, guy, I'm fighting. Here's my injury. Look where I'm hurt. Don't hit me here in this injury." And then, of course, what does the guy do? Hits him in the injury, because it tells the story. So if you want to get people involved in watching the basketball games and they don't really care, hey, this guy who was the MVP last year, he's doing a Willis Reed. Wait, what's a Willis Reed? Oh, back in the 70s when the Lakers were playing the Knicks, and Willis Reed had to come out and his leg was hurt and everything, and and he wasn't supposed to walk on it, but he came out and the crowd went fucking nuts. And they're like, oh, it's like Kirk Gibson playing in the World Series when he had the broken wing and came out there and hit the home run. You want to watch the injured guy overcome if you don't have a skin in the game and watch it that way. So it's not them. It's not Joel Embiid for doing it. It's the Knicks for not just hitting him in the knee the first play, every play. Why go back to old school 90s Knicks? Where's my Anthony Mason? Where's my Charles Oakley? I love this team now, and they're fun to watch with a bunch of guards. But man, I need somebody. Hey, David Wingate, you're not going to play much today, but can you go on in and just clip somebody quickly? All right, coach. But don't worry, we'll pay for your suspension. It's okay. He's the MVP. If you take out Embiid, we can beat that team. Brunson can run by those guys. Take out his knee.
Yeah, no, I agree. This is more about the Bell's palsy, though.
I know, but I don't want to talk much about Bell's palsy. That's like the worst of the palsies.
No, cerebral palsy is way worse. Bell's palsy, you get
no,
over.
because Bell's gives you the face. Cerebral palsy, you have goofy arms and legs and stuff, but you still
Yeah,
have okay face.
yeah.
Bell's palsy, yeah, that's what it is. Bell's palsy makes you go, man, see, man, I got a face, see,
Yeah.
man. You're like half a puppet. You don't want that.
And that's why Embiid's my piece of shit for not becoming a Scooby-Doo villain every time he hits a shot. Like, lean into it, look over and be like, yeah, that's a three-pointer there in New York City. Yeah.
See?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's a three. Yeah.
Kyle Lowry, make the shot.
Kyle Lowry, I swear to God, if your old ass doesn't win us this series, I'm going to bench him. Yeah.
I would have got away with it if James Harden didn't demand a trade.
Tobias Harris, all this for you? Yeah.
You know what? If Chad wants to pull this clip and say we're not funny, I get it.
I think he's wrong. I think that's the best thing we've
It's
done.
just you and I going, see, what if I was... That would be, first of all, how many people would want that disease if that was the one thing? Like, you don't get your face hurt. You just have to talk like that.
Yeah.
So you get stricken with disease, but when you go through bouts of it, you're just like, see, I'll have the egg, see? It's a ham, like, that'd be the greatest disease of all times.
If it also turned you into Embiid. If now anytime.
No, you don't become a 7-foot black guy.
No, that's what it becomes. That's what I'm saying. You got a bunch of parents out there, like chicken pox parties, like, please give him the Bell's palsy.
Give him the palsy. Bells. But who is Bells? Fred Bells. He's like, my face sucks.
It's
All right,
actually
Fred Bells. We'll name it after you.
It's actually really sad. It's named after Alexander Graham Bell.
It was not named after Alexander Graham Bell. It was his whole family. Answer the phone, say.
That's why he invented a phone, because nobody wanted to talk to him in person. The only way he could get him to is if he called him up. Yeah. So he could be like, yeah. And they're like, damn it, Alexander.
Everybody says they hate coming up and seeing me face to face. See? They look at my face. They're like, gross. I got to invent a thing where they don't have to see me.
I hope nobody puts a camera on this any years from now, and then that becomes the new norm where we look at each other face to face. That'd be really just insulting to my memory. Yeah.
iPhone, more like iPhone. See? Yeah, look at this guy's face. Gross. Hello?
Yeah.
Is this Alexander Graham Bell? You know who the fuck this is. No one else sounds like this.
Talks like this. Yeah.
Now wait, if an Asian guy gets it, does he go to that voice or does he keep his Asian voice? Oh, hello, see? Hello.
Yeah. That would be amazing. Let's go.
Oh, I'll be there in 15, 20 minutes. Pour fried rice.
Bell's palsy, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Bell's palsy.
Yeah. Walking on a dream.
Vince McMahon was fired. The commentary between Bell's palsy said he had face was too ugly. And nobody wants. Yeah. Oh yeah. We all know the story of Jim Ross, but Vince McMahon wasn't fired. Vince McMahon pooped on people. See, and I think a deuce on your chest.
You got poop palsy.
Poop palsy. It's just the sound your butt makes when you go to the bathroom. Instead of like gas, like every time you eat. It's like, oh boy, that was poor Mass. Yeah, I gotta get some Pepto, man.
You got a face only a mother could shit on.
Man, you got a face only a Vince McMahon would shit on. Man. All right, let's move from that voice and stop doing that, please. Tourist slam for posing naked in popular desert spot. Very sickening. By our boy Ben Costigan. They denuded the landscape. Get it? Denuded the landscape.
Oh,
That's the pun.
I don't like that.
It's a big pun. I guess you didn't get it. They put DE, then a dash, then nude, then a dash, then ED.
They don't like puns.
They hate puns. But actually, that one was a pun. Another day, another instance of tourists disrespecting a landmark. This time, foreign sightseers angered Namibian authorities. I guess from Namibia, I don't know what that is. After posing naked atop the legendary Big Daddy Dune in the Namib Desert. What's the Big Daddy Dune?
That's the new wrestler.
Hello, it's me, Big Daddy Dune. Oh, I coming over there. It's a sandy. I don't want to get anything in my shoes.
I was out there flying drones in Israel. Oh, the boys.
Oh, the drones is flying around. Oh, remember when Obama used them? Oh, we can't talk about that now. The hush hush.
But when we do it, it's a problem. Yeah, it's a cross between Big Daddy Kane and Sergeant Slaughter when he became the bad guy.
It's this cross between Big Daddy Kane and the movie Dune.
You know,
I'd watch that.
We could have simplified it. We really could have
You
simplified
take out
it.
Timothy Chalamet and you just put Big Daddy Kane out there with gold chains and a top hat. He's like, yo, it's sandy as fuck out here. Let me rap about it for 4 hours. Watch out for Dune 2. Now with more dunes. No,
Even more dunes.
12 more dunes. Lorna Dunes. Wasn't that cookie that tastes like sand?
Yeah, good call. Good call.
See? Deep cuts.
No,
Take that, Chad. That's great comment.
We could do one of Chad's buddies, which is, why am I making Nesquik? It never dissolves all the way. What is this, the movie Dunes in my drink?
Was that a bit?
That was a Dane Cook bit from back in the day.
Oh, nice. Dune Cook.
It's even better than where I was going, which is if you make that DST. Why white people always be having so many keys?
It is very sickening, and it really creates a bad image for Namibia. Is that it? Namibia? Namibia?
I think it's pronounced Mumbai.
No, it's not Mumbai. It's a whole different word. It's Namibia. Kenneth Napenda, vice chairperson of the Federation of Namibian Tourism Association. That's not a real job. As told to the Namibian Sun. These are all made up things, right? Like, you know when you're watching like a TV show and they have a made up town and a made up newspaper? Is that what this is?
I'm pretty sure that was a CCR song. I ain't no Nambian son.
Oh, nice. Deep cuts. He added that these antics risk attracting tourists who think that anything goes in the southern African nation. I don't think tourists think anything goes in southern African nation. By the way, we thought that a long time ago. Like we could just scoop them up and take them with us.
The only thing that really goes in South Africa these days is the white folks. I don't know if you heard much about reverse apartheid, but
right, but back in the day, we definitely went over there with boats and thought anything goes.
Oh yeah, for sure. That was the shit.
Hey, how do you like rowing? Not only are we going to bring you to the worst part of your life ever, but you have to steer us there. That's the fucked up part. At least give them a ride.
At one point during this trip, you're going to be like, "Ah, man, at least this is the worst part of my life." And boy, are you going to find out when we stop rowing.
Yeah, you're never seeing the ocean again once we throw you in it.
Yeah.
Man, see, you're a slave now. Whip. The whip makes the noise. Whip, see, whip. Cha.
Meow, meow. Back to work.
Accompanying footage and video snapped by an unknown source shows the unnamed trio strutting around in their birthday suits atop the 1,000-foot tall sand mound, which is reportedly popular with families. I don't know. That's kind of funny. If you were walking with your family in some dune, and then you're walking over the horizon and over the hill, you come up, and when you start going down, it's just 3 naked dudes go, "What up?" You ruined that family. Has that memory forever. You're like, "Daddy, no!" You cover in ice and stuff. Now I know when you go in the water, you get shrinkage as a man. If you go in the sand, you get hard. Like, is that how the elements work?
I don't know enough to say no. I think no.
Man, see, I have a boner in the sand, man. I'm laying down in the sand. I'm making a sundial with my dick, huh? See? Visitors didn't appreciate the tourists treating the scenic site like a nude beach and called on tourism officials to take action against the crass culprits. Authorities haven't yet publicly identified the sandy strip teasers who allegedly left Namibia by the time authorities received the reports. How do they take off naked in the desert? Like, you can't catch them?
I'm guessing it was the last day of their trip, and reports didn't make it to the authorities for several days because they don't have cell phones.
But they have video. You just close up and you get their identities, and you can see, you have pictures of them naked.
That is the hardest way to deny it to you.
However, the nudists could be banned from entering the country's parks, according to tourism ministers, who added that the extremely shocking act was public indecency and therefore punishable by local law. I don't think they care. I think if you're getting naked at a park and you go, "You can't come here anymore," they're like, "Yeah, we did it. We're not going to do anything better than being naked at the park."
We took our one vacation to Namibia. We're never coming back. Right? Like, if you're banned from the country, it's a one and done.
But wait, so how did they get there? Did they go through that closet? You climb through there, right? And you go in, and it's like the animals talk to you, and then you have to go see the Lion King guy, and then those white children. Isn't that Nambia? The Secrets of Nambia.
I'm pretty sure that's where you go a boy and a bunch of other men make you into a man, if you catch my drift.
No, that's Nambla. That's where men
Yeah,
and boys love
and this
each other.
is
I'm
this
talking
is
about
one
that
they
thing-
accidentally lowercase the I instead of making it an L.
I'm talking about that weird clothes closet that's in the back of a house, and then those white children go in there and get lost in the snow, and then that's Nambia, right?
I think if you thought that you were going to Nambia or to Narnia and you ended up in Nambia, you'd be very pissed. I don't think the populations of Narnia and Nambia look alike at all. Were there
think
lots of things
Nambia
in
and
Narnia?
Narnia are the
Yeah.
same place.
don't
I think
so.
it was just, Bobby, I believe that back in the day when they didn't let African American people be on TV, they whitened up Nambia and said it's Narnia because they thought that was a better version of it. And I think that this is now the woke version of it, where that's what they did. They just passed through a closet. They showed up in the desert, and they couldn't help it if they were naked. They thought that's how the people lived there. According to National Geographic, they're always naked.
Do they know it's Christmas time at all?
The greatest song ever. Yeah, they probably do, because a lot of Christians went there and took them over and brainwashed them to join their cult. They all know it's Christmas. They've been beaten until they stop talking to their sun god. They know it's Christmas. In the light of the indecent incident, officials are calling on visitors to report violators to authorities so they can deal with them accordingly. We appeal to that section of tourists to summon the conscious so that they do the right thing, declared Romeo Muyunda. Yeah, Romeo Muyunda. His name was Romeo Muyunda, a spokesperson for the Ministry of Environment, Forestry, and Tourism. He's got big jobs, that guy. He does environment, forestry, and tourism.
I like to think little Romeo took all of his rap money and just bought a country in Africa, and he is now the president.
I also like that. Okay, environment, I get. That's important. Tourism, yeah, you're hoping people go there and make money. It's a dune. How much forestry is there? What's he covering there? It's like a tree.
Jesus.
It's a fucking desert. However, many social media users disagree with the incident was problematic. Why are they in trouble? They bothered no one, a guy on X said, while another claimed that nothing wrong, just sunbathing. Big Daddy is one of those 3 largest dunes in Namibia's Oh, dude, fuck this. Namibia's Namib Naukluft National Park is a popular destination among sightseers looking to get a picturesque view from its crest. Who's the piece of shit in the story? Is it Namib for having the? That's hard to say. Namib. Call it Nabib. Nabib is either go B first. Namib? What the fuck's a Namib? I can't even say. Namibia is the worst. Is it them? Is it the naked dudes for going there? Is it the guy who named it Big Daddy Dune? That's the dumbest name of all time. Like, you can have a way cooler name, an African name, or at least have the African name that translates to Big Daddy. So it sounds, you're like, Dune. You're like, oh, what does that mean? You're like, oh, that means Big Daddy. It's like, oh, nice. I didn't hear the third click. I thought it was Young Daddy. Like, no, that's, that's different things that you'd have to do there. So is it them? Is it dunes? Fuck dunes. Haven't we moved on past dunes? We've advanced so much in technology. Can we get rid of beaches without water now? That's what a desert is. A beach without water. They're dumb. No one lives there. It's stupid. Who's the piece of shit in this story?
It's whoever. It's horse, like, cause they have to ride horses there. There's this one that didn't have a name, and that horse is kind of the piece of shit. Just come up with a name, because then some dude's gonna write. Yeah, then they're gonna write a shitty song about it. Nobody wants to hear that.
But it was good to be out of the rain.
Was it though?
Oh, that's heroin.
Yeah. That's my point. Yeah, it's good to be out of the heroin.
Shay, get a belt, tie it to my arm, Shay. Doing heroin. Like, I would like that if you did heroin and that you got that voice. You do heroin and you get high, you don't die, but you have to have that voice for as long as you're a heroin addict. Dude,
I'd be on board with that. Yeah, say you guys are gonna like my jokes. You're gonna like my jokes. Yeah, say. No, for me, it's the person who got naked. If you're good looking and you get naked on top of a sand dune, nobody in Africa is having a problem with it. It's the fact that you're ugly.
I think Terry's correct. They are the worst. Just stop it. Just stop. I have to tan my balls. Like, you do not. Just go. Or you just
do it in your backyard like everybody else.
Or just like George Hamilton back in the day, just paint orange shit on your balls and tan.
I like to write, if you're reading this, you're standing too close.
Yeah, that's gross. Bobby, we have probably time for one more quick one, then I gotta unfortunately run. So
all right. Well, this is an opinion piece that came out from the New York, not an opinion piece, like it recently came out in the New York something. But did you know that when Paul McCartney divorced Heather Mills, what his plan was?
To throw her leg in the water?
I mean, that's hilarious. No, but he was going to also get rid of a leg, his third leg.
Johnson?
Yeah. It's coming out now that after Paul McCartney and Heather Mills got their divorce, Paul was very close to becoming a woman.
Oh, I thought he was just going to cut his dick off to, like, because she had one missing leg and he was going to have a missing leg to be with her.
Yeah, well, according to the article I read, he said he was used to fucking weird bitches.
Who wrote this?
This is a Pueblo story. This is Billy.
Pueblo.
This is real Pueblo. But yeah, who's the piece of shit in this story? Is it Heather Mills for being like so bad at a woman that Paul McCartney was like, I could be better at that than you?
Jesus.
Is it Paul McCartney for going, I found myself attracted to fucked up things. I decided to make myself fucked up? Or is it Bill Pueblo? Like, just let the Beatles die. They were never that great. They've been overrated for eternity. Let them die. You know, as Paul McCartney might say, it's time to live and let die.
Yeah, it's John Lennon. Because he was the one that if you had to choose who would, cut off their penis and become a lady, he's the one. You would never think it's Paul. Paul was just like loving and nice and all that stuff. And George was too good at guitar and loved the ladies. Lennon was the one like love everybody. I want to imagine if I was a lady. Imagine if I cut off my dick. Those fun songs. Imagine if I dated an Asian. Imagine if she made you sick. Like that's yeah. So he was the one that would do that. But because he didn't, Paul was like, we got to give the people what they want, and they want me to be a woman. They want me to be Paula. So I got to do it because John won't do it. John won't become Jane. So it's John's fault. I know it's the worst impression of all times, but I'm happy. I pulled out 3 good. Chinese, Mashy, black guy, and new one. See, that's 4. That's your Friday 4, baby.
For me, it's actually Ringo because he was so transphobic that Paul was worried it would ruin their relationship.
Oh, Ringo will be mad that I fucking cut off my cock. Ringo, don't be mad.
You gotta be a dude if you want to sing the blues, and cutting your dick off, it isn't easy.
Yesterday, I was a fella, but today I'm gay. Then I made my penis go away. Oh, I
No!
believe in yesterday. Suddenly,
Blackbird.
I'm not the man I used to be.
It's a
Because
Blackbird.
I
It's about
gave
him
myself
turning
a
his shirt back.
vasectomy.
Jesus. Well, you heard it here first. Paul McCartney wanted to
Why'd
be
my
trans.
dick have to go? It would go. It went away. Now my dick is gone. It's all gone from yesterday. Cover that, boys to men. You got anything to plug?
I got no penis 8 days a week. I will be at Rick Bronson's.
Help! I cut off my penis. Help!
Help.
Where is my penis? Help!
Help! I need somebody.
When I was younger, I had a real big piece of penis. Da, da, da. And then I cut it off, and now it's as bald as Venus.
Will you still love me when I've got no balls no more? I'll be at Rick Bronson's House of Comedy in Minnesota. Not next week, the week after. Next week, I'm stuck at my cousin's wedding that I didn't want to go to in Ohio, but I'm stuck. So if you want to see me come ruin that wedding, you'll get a good laugh out of me.
She is you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She is you, yeah, yeah, yeah. She is you. You used to be a guy.
I
today,
cut off my giant wing. My giant wing. My giant wing.
I'm as bald as a walrus. Cuckoo, cuckoo.
I don't know any more Beatles songs.
How many inches did you cut off? Number 9?
Why'd you cut off your dick? That's not a vagina. I've seen wetter. That's all I got.
Sergeant Penis leaves was sitting in my hand. Today from 2 to 7.
The run.
Today from 2 to 7, you can hear me on 95.9 The Fox. It's my last day on there for filling in for this guy Keith for a while. So be back to me just doing sporadic stuff. So go check that out. Please go join the Patreon if you could. The POS Podcast Patreon. We've got a bunch of things going on there. If you wanted to see, if you didn't get to hear the us talk about John nominating him to the Stuttering John to the Hall of Fame, that's up there in that clip. We're going to be doing shows next week just on the Patreon. So some of the shows we're going to do, we won't be up here. They'll just be over there. For those $3, you can join. It'd be fun. If you're over there, we appreciate you. If you can't do it that way and you want to support the show, you can just Venmo me as well. Me and Bobby will split it, and like we'll just get little sandwiches and stuff. We'll pay for Paul McCartney's penis surgery, whatever we have to do with the money. It is great there. And if you can't do any of that, and even if you can, either way, if you could hit subscribe and like and all those fun things, we appreciate it. If you guys hear anyone talking shit about us, please tell us. Be a ski mask. Let us know. We'll have fun with it and talk about it. We appreciate it. Bobby, you have a wonderful weekend. Now tell the people things and such.
You too, Pat. Live your life like Bobby Fischer. Always 4 moves ahead of your competition. Listen, they're not going to stop you ever. I feel as large as Biggie. Swear it could not be better. I feel like Biggie wearing that Cosby sweater. Wearing that Cosby sweater. Wearing that Cosby